The 2019 Norm Stewart Classic is brought to you by Nestle Purina, the Holiday Inn Executive Center, and the Columbia Convention and Visitors Bureau.
To Columbia, Missouri. Day 2 of the Norm Stewart Classic is underway, and a set of basketball games between Community R and Otterville. The Trojans come in 0-2, while Otterville 2-0. Polar opposites, and the starters getting ready to take the floor. James Stanley alongside Will Connerly for this matchup in the Norm Stewart Classic, the 2019 edition. And Will, we were here yesterday, now back 24 hours later, and the Classic continues to roll on.
Oh, it's such a great event like we talked about, and, you know, I'm excited to get things rolling today. I think we have a couple of good matchups early on in the season and some good implications for, you know, what both teams can bring to the tables, especially, you're talking about a team that's 0-2, but, you know, a team that has a lot of players that are pretty quality, and they haven't played in a while, so that loss is kind of stuck in their head. They haven't played in over a week, so I don't think that's going to be rushed. I think they're going to come out with some fire. We saw them pretty fired up, you know, when we walked under in Mizzou Arena. You know, it doesn't matter what time it is. They're ready to go here at a great facility.
Let's go ahead and meet the starters for Community R, as that's Caden Escamilla, the starting senior guard. He'll be joined by Tucker Robnett, the forward freshman, just playing one game so far this year. Garrett Schmidt will start as well at guard, a 5'10 junior, just shooting 1 of 7 on the season. Case Stafford will start alongside him at guard, a 5'9 sophomore, shooting 39% from the floor this season, and Danny Kuda, the senior guard, who so far has made 4 out of 16 shots on the year. But Community R, the Trojans, come in 0-2 after a 12-13 campaign last season, led by head coach Matt Thomas. Class 1 District 10, as they'll set Otterville. The black and purple will send out Ben Morrison, the senior guard, alongside Jim Croker at guard as well. 2 forwards, Brad Connor and Christian Bremer, and Mason Matthews, the senior center at 6'4", will be at center floor for the tip-off.
It's 48 straight hours of high school basketball.
48 straight hours of high school basketball. And we got 2 more for you this morning. I hope you have your cup of coffee. Maybe throw some bacon and eggs on the griddle. And center tip-off is one from right to left. We're underway on ESPN3. Stolen from behind, but dribbled out of bounds, and you like the early effort here out of Tucker Robnett. Or rather, make that Jim Croker.
Croker, a senior on this team, and I think he's going to be a big part of the game today. Both teams are kind of looking to develop some of their identity. It's a little question marks on both sides.
Case Stafford thought about the 3, denies it, gives it to Kuda. Great perimeter defense right now by Otterville. Up top the key, it's Robnett. And no entry-level passes yet. There's the first one for Community R. They tip it back out and they keep possession, so.
What an effort right there to keep the possession going by Case Stafford, hitting the deck.
Both sides in a staring match. An errant 3 misses wide left, and Garrett Schmidt unable to connect with the rim. It will be Otterville Eagles ball. The Eagles come in 2-0. Last year 11-15. At neutral sites were 6-6, a clean 500 record, led by head coach Tom Ward. And they'll have their first chance to score in the opening minute. Taking a long 3 is Croker, and air balls it out of bounds.
You alluded to it on the first possession for the Trojans. You said you hadn't seen a lot of entry-level passes yet, and I believe that probably will be the case a lot of the day for the Trojans. They like to shoot the ball, and they don't have a ton of size in their starting 5.
So both sides have attempted a 3-point bucket, and neither side even connected with the rim. Not sure if we're going to see a lot of movement into the paint for Community R. And a stop and a pop, another air ball. There they go from left to right. Ben Morrison leads the charge. Entry down low. Mason Matthews, a nifty move.
We said there's not a lot of size, but he has the biggest size, 17 points in their last win. He stands at 6'4", tallest player in the Eagles starting lineup.
Driving down low, it's Garrett Schmidt. Shot rejected outside and pulled down by Morrison.
Great interior defense on that.
Morrison crosses center floor. Now down low and lost the basketball out of bounds. So into the first 2 minutes, Otterville leads 2-0.
And I like that pass, trying to find Brad Connor right there. There was just a lot of traffic, and they weren't on the exact same page there. But if they can get those passes on the after those dribble drives, they'll have a lot of success finding the open man on the low block.
Escamilla out on the right wing. Drives center and gets knocked on his way toward the cup.
Escamilla is really a leader on this team. He's played 4 seasons for the Trojans and has had a ton of success. You know, over 20 points per game in their first couple of games they've played. 16 in their season opener.
First foul on either side. Kuda thought about a 3. He's now 0 for 6 on the season from three-point land. A little bit of a tough look for a lot of these Trojans. Garrett Schmidt on the season also 0 for 6 from beyond 3. Just mentioned Kuda 0 for 6 after that miss. The only player that's been solid from beyond 3 for the Trojans has been Caden Escamilla at the free throw line. He's 6 of 13 on the season and now 7 of 7 from the charity stripe.
Yeah, but Matt Thomas, the head coach for this Community R6 team, the Trojans, in 2017-18 campaign, they had 9 wins. They improved that total of 12 last year, and I think they have the potential to improve it this year. I think he can turn it around as you see him now on your screen.
After the free throws, we're knotted up 2-2. 5:28 left to go in the first quarter. Morrison thought about the 3. Too high on the rebound and out of bounds, last touched by Community R.
A lot of threes being fired by both squads right now, but like we said, different gym, different setting for these kids, not connecting yet.
Jim Croker walked with the ball despite knocking down the short jumper. Turnover will give the ball back to the Trojans. Well, I mentioned it yesterday. It's a little bit of a different animal playing in a arena that is not a high school gym. High school gyms have usually a big, tall gymnasium wall behind the basket. Now there's a lot more depth to shooting the basketball behind, and even though Mizzou Arena is empty, still gives you that odd depth perception when attempting your shots.
Probably even more so when it's empty, because you see those bleachers going all the way back.
Try corner 3. Kuda still no good. 0 for 2 on the day from three-point land.
They're going to have to find a way to connect and get some more open looks from 3.
Now the Trojans will try one. Nice stroke from the right corner for Ben Morrison.
The senior getting it done.
5-2, Otterville on top. It's all seniors with the scoring, and there's a 3. Tucker Robnett, his first three-pointer of the season.
And that's not a senior right there. That's a freshman, starting to really get some traction. He's going to have his coming-out party this season.
Scoring starting to heating up here into the under 5-minute mark, and a short 3 for Morrison, rebounded up top. The key for Robnett. He'll bring it across the timeline. Stafford thought about the 3. Now he drives left side lane. He takes the check to the bank.
Much better thought right there. Had a little pump fake hesitation move, put the burners on and got to the cup. Nice work by the sophomore, driving, beating the defender, and nice touch off the glass as well.
Morrison with the ball has a couple attempted 3s and a bounce pass down low by Christian Bremer. We talk about Bremer, number 10 on your screen. And, well, when we were out looking for a couple drinks of water in the pregame, Bremer found an exercise bike in the tunnels here at Mizzou Arena and was pumping the fans.
Well, you got to get loose a little bit, at this time, he comes over there and,
his teammates said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, but someone at the line right now in Mason Matthews. He did a really good job of putting the ball on the deck. He got double teamed. He knew all he had to do was go up because two defenders were draped on him. He had a nice, friendly trip at the line. And we've got a good game so far, James. All knotted up.
4 points for Matthews with 2 from the free throw line, and Escamilla will shake and bake, dishes it off left side for Robnett. Now will try corner 3 and too short, clanks up high, and here's Bremer with the board. Bremer's going to go unevaded to the rim. Can't knock down his shot, but he's fouled.
And Bremer, the senior, he knew that, that was going to be a tough look right there, driving in traffic, not having a ton of control. But when he rides the elevator to the hoop like that, in that manner, he knows that he can draw some contact and potentially get the and one, but he knew that he was going to probably draw the block. He knew the defender wasn't in a great position, and he just went to attack, and I think that's what Otterville wants to do a little bit more with Coach Tom Ward. But you see Coach Thomas talking to his team, Coach Ward talking to his team, and definitely going to be attacking the rim right now because the three-pointers haven't really been falling at a high clip, and that can obviously change. They can get adjusted, but you see Coach Thomas addressing his team. I think he wants better shot selection, better defense down low.
In terms of scoring, just 2 scores so far for the black and purple Otterville Eagles. Morrison with a triple, he has 3 points. Mason Matthews a bucket on the floor and 2 free throws. That gives him 4 points, leading all scorers. Meanwhile, for Community R, it's 2 points for Escamilla, a triple for Tucker Robnett, and 2 points for Case Stafford. Bremer with a chance to join the scoring party. And the first free throw clanks to the right.
Both these schools in Class 1 here in Missouri, and a nice opportunity to play at a big venue. The teams that could potentially meet in the postseason. Different districts. Class 1 District 10 for Community, Class 1 District 9 for the Otterville Eagles.
Garrett Schmidt guarded tough. Goes inside, and Robnett denies the 3 after knocking one down just a couple minutes ago. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Otterville 8, Community R 7. Long 3 looked good off the hand, but rims out. Fight for the rebound. Great play by Escamilla, and he's fouled down in the corner. A little frustration there by Mason Matthews. That's his first foul. And the second foul on Otterville. Bremer will take a seat on the bench, and in comes Mark Olnek. Otterville's had some stints in town, taking on Hickman High School a couple of times in the last 2-3 seasons.
Eagle foul on Isaiah Gilmore, his first. 4th team's foul.
Bounce pass down low, entry for Robnett. Vocal leadership by Cyrus Gilmore, also checked in for Otterville out of the break, and now a great takeaway by Isaiah Gilmore. Gilmore floats it up floor for Cyrus Gilmore, his brother. And a long NBA range 3, too strong off the right for Isaiah Gilmore.
Talk about stints in town. Thomas had his team here last night watching a couple of Norm Stewart Classic games. I know he was, put it on Twitter, and before they went back to the hotel and getting here early this morning.
Pass stolen away, and here comes Ben Morrison, a full head of steam across the far side. Full speed ahead he goes, but can't get his shot to fall. Down low across the SEC logo and can't make the short floater. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Otterville 8, Community R 7, and make that 9.
Great take right there. Great take in traffic. I mean, this is an experienced player, and the offense is going to start to flow with how Escamilla is going to play. If he can keep attacking the rim, I mean, he's their best player.
Escamilla with 4 points, shooting a 55% clip on the season into this game, and Otterville turns it over. Here comes Escamilla across the other side. Kudo will get the shot up, but can't get it to drop.
Great turnover right there by Escamilla to take the ball away, but they don't need to go 1 and out on that possession. They could make a pass. They didn't need to be in a rush. Another turnover by Gilmore.
Danny Kuda will go coast to coast, and the largest lead of the ball game for Community R forces a timeout. Otterville wants to talk things over. Kuda's first bucket of the game. And it was a good one after he lost a couple of three-point opportunities early on.
I mean, look at it. Look at him just put his hand in the take the basketball and go coast to coast. I mean, back-to-back steals on possessions for Community R, and they're doing a good job. Coach Thomas still talking to his team about, we can get better shots. We could be up by a lot more right now, but the fact of the matter is, you got to capitalize on your turnovers here. It's a really closely contested game, and for Otterville, I think their thing is just taking care of the basketball. They've gotten a little sloppy the last couple of possessions, and I think that they've actually probably had the better shot selection, but it's been a couple of misfortunes on not taking care of the basketball in inopportune times and letting the Trojans really get downhill.
Isaiah Gilmore will start things off for Otterville. They trail by 3 into the final minute of the first quarter. Morrison with 3 points up top and gives over to Isaiah Gilmore. Tickles the twine, but it's not through the bottom of the net. Missed the rim entirely. Otterville will try to set up a good defensive set here, and a turnover. A little too much speed on the pass for Danny Kuda.
And Coach Thomas is going to see a little bit of that this year. They're more of an unexperienced, they're undersized team here in 2019-2020, and that's why his style of play is changing and catering to that this season, going a little slower and, giving their undersized and, a little more inexperienced some time to gain some traction. 2 freshmen in the starting lineup for the Trojans.
Final 17 seconds. In the closing rounds of the Norm Stewart Classic. Still more basketball to come, but we're past the halfway point. Clock will stop with 5.8. Ball tipped out of bounds last by Otterville, and the Trojans will have the inbound. Keyed into Schmidt. 3 seconds to shoot. Escamilla sees the shot clock and lets it fly to the left, but no shot is made. Final score at the end of 1. Community R leads by 3, 11-8. The Trojans trying to win their first game of 2019 and hand Otterville their first loss. But that'll do it for us for the first quarter. 11-8, Community on top.
I'm Christina Stumble, and I chose the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy, why wouldn't I get this card? I redeemed $115,000 in cash back, which doubled our marketing budget last summer. What's in your wallet?
11-8, welcome back and good morning from Norm Stewart Court, the 2019 Norm Stewart Classic. The stats are in for the first quarter, and Will, you look at the points off turnovers for Community R, it's 6, and that makes up nearly half their offense.
Yeah, 6 turnovers for Otterville, that can't happen. That was something that was obviously talked about at the end of the first quarter, and I think something else for both teams, combined 2 of 13 from beyond the arc, but 6 turnovers. There was 9 turnovers overall, and I think both coaches wanted to clean up their offense, but like you said, the points on turnovers in a closely contested game like this one, 11-8 opening stages, second quarter, is going to be of the utmost importance.
Jim Croker with 2 turnovers and 2 by Isaiah Gilmore. Gilmore guards ball, but we'll hand things off for Brad Connor. Long 3. And too strong for Escamilla, has 4 points, looking for 7. Isaiah Gilmore drives hard and gets fouled.
And you look at Isaiah Gilmore now. One thing Otterville can do, I mean, they can utilize his utility. He's multifaceted. He runs track, third fastest 100-meter dash for the Eagles, I think, in school history.
Isaiah Gilmore, step back three.
And he can do that as well.
Nothing but nylon. Tied at 11, and the first bucket of the ball game for Gilmore.
Gilmore had 20 points in their 1-point win earlier this week.
Kuda will try one, but it rims out. 0 for 8 on the season from downtown. Otterville playing with a hurry. And Ben Morrison walked one too many steps. Turns the ball over.
You're talking about 0 for, and then also for this game as a team, they're 1 for 8. So not a great shooting percentage from beyond the arc for either team, especially the Trojan. The Eagles trying to change that after making one on the last possession from Gilmore.
Transfer pass down low, or should say left corner for Robnett. Nearly threw that one away. Kuda with the good elevation to keep it down. Bouncing ball on the floor, and Christian Bremer will take it back. He's going one-on-one with Escamilla. Now Bremer weaves to the rim, and he's fouled. Took one for the team, and he'll be shooting for a couple free throws.
Good job to get to the line right there. And for the Eagles, one thing that they're going to have to do and adjust to is, a couple of early fouls for Jim Croker. So the senior, got to be playing cautiously, and obviously less minutes here in the second quarter as he's on the bench right now.
This is his second trip to the free throw line. And he goes 1 for 2 like his first trip. However, rebound down low for the big man, Jeremiah Hampton. Senior off the bench, couldn't get his first shot attempt to go.
But provides the same height and same physical nature of Mason Matthews, who starts at the center. But Hampton doing a good job as well, stands at 6'4".
Otterville by 1. Schmidt fires a tray, no good.
1 of 9 from beyond the arc for the Trojans.
Schmidt 0 for 7 from downtown this season. Isaiah Gilmore into the paint. Gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Bremer. Bremer down low gives Isaiah Gilmore wide open 3. Swish!
It rattles home. He's starting to heat up. We talk about how he's a track athlete. He's fast, but he can rise and fire as well.
Leads all scorers with 6 points. And Otterville extends their lead by 4. Trailed by 3 at the end of the first quarter. And Community R has not scored in the last 4 minutes of play.
Great adjustment at the end of the first quarter from the Eagles. They're taking care of the basketball now. Not something they did with 6 turnovers in the first quarter.
Escamilla from downtown. Can't get it. And a rebound down low by Tucker Robnett. He's fouled as well. And take a look at this 3 by Isaiah Gilmore. NBA range. He was beyond all 3 stripes.
And the college line actually moved back this year to international standards. So, that third stripe is at that international range, James. And, yep, he was well beyond it. Not every day you get to do that.
Isaiah Gilmore, talk about a full head of steam.
Look at him go. We talk about his sprinting ability, turning on the burners. That's just holding down, what button is that? RT, the sprint button, and on the controller, and just burning to the hoop right there. He's having a heck of a second quarter right.
Punch 13 and kept the hammer down. Almost had another turnover there. Rather, that's his brother Cyrus Gilmore. Very similarly built.
Isaiah Gilmore's put the team on his back here in this second quarter, making a couple of threes, getting a bucket in transition as well.
Logan Johnson into the set. He's had a couple of touches. Now he looks bewildered. Tries to set a pick and get open. Just a freshman guard, stands at 5'7". Up top for Kuda. Now to Escamilla. Fires for 3. Too strong. High rebound for Cyrus Gilmore.
Woes continue from beyond the arc for the Trojans.
Fine for Connor. And Connor's fouled.
I mean, another great play right there by a guy who he comes off the bench, Isaiah Gilmore, a good find to allow Connor to get to the line right now. But Isaiah Gilmore, I mean, he's made a couple of threes. He's pushing it in transition. He's had a couple of steals. This is a guy who came off the bench and had no points in the first quarter, but comes out and, showcases his skill. Cyrus Gilmore and Isaiah Gilmore, they both run together in that relays and track, and they're really successful. And you can kind of see them working together on the court, and he's really facilitated the offense right now. I think he's earned himself a lot more minutes, albeit he comes off the bench for the Eagles, who really have shocked the Trojans. The Trojans haven't scored yet here in this second quarter. It was 11-8 Trojans at the end of one, but now 17-11 in favor of the Eagles. Some type of run the Eagles are on right now.
It's a 9-0 run just in the quarter alone, and 8 points for Isaiah Gilmore. He's been the main difference maker so far in the quarter. A couple of trays and also a bucket at the cup. Following the boys' game, the girls' game will be on. Tip-off at 6 here in the morning.
And that should be a good one as well. Community is a team who made the deep run into the state tournament last season.
Brad Connor at the line as we pick up at 3:47 until half. And a 6-minute scoring drought for Community R. First free throw is good for Brad Connor, his first point of the game, and gets both to go.
And the reason that drought has been is they've made a couple of passes and then jacked up three balls, and they haven't shot the three ball with any type of efficiency today. They're undersized team, so they're going to have to find a way to get some offense.
11-point run for Otterville, showing why they're undefeated on the season. Made great adjustments here in the second half, and the bunny hop won't go for the Trojans. Mark Olnick flies in to get the board, and a jump ball is called. Got a little tied up, but great effort by the senior forward, standing at 6'2".
And good effort by Kuda to put his hands in there to get the jump ball called, and it checks home and stays home for the Trojans.
3:17 to play. Otterville 19, Community R 11. Logan Johnson tossed it up left for Casey Stafford. And Case Stafford rather, but Escamilla on his way to the rim has his shot denied.
Great rebound right there by Olnick to kind of start this offense for the Eagles.
Connor gets the ball, what a find, but he can't finish, turns around on the reverse layup and lost control.
The Eagles are giving Community R6 a lot of problems down in the paint because you got guys who can rebound, a couple of 6'4" players and a 6'2" player as well for the Eagles, but they don't have too much size for the Trojans, and it's been a tough scene right now on the boards for the Trojans. And Otterville, who couldn't take care of the basketball in the first quarter, they've silenced that noise and still on a big run here in the quarter.
Robnett to the rim and took 3 steps. Garrett Schmidt checks in, and out comes Logan Johnson.
11-0 run right now, Stanley.
2:33 left to play until halftime, and Community R6 trails by 8. Otterville with 19 points. Cyrus Gilmore misses to the left. Picked up by the Trojans, and they'll bring it back the other way. Kuda to Escamilla. Finds a good look to Robnett, but turned it over. A little too strong on the laser beam pass.
It's been a great quarter for the Eagles. They're on an 11-0 run just in this quarter. A quarter to remember after struggling out of the gate.
And how about a great assist for Isaiah Gilmore, his 10th point of the ball game.
all in this quarter as well. And they're still on a big run right now. It's been the Trojans' shooting struggles that have really highlighted this second quarter, but we highlight the man who's really been the run. He's put the team on his back. It's Isaiah Gilmore. And he scored 20 points. We talked about it in a win earlier this week. He's really taking over. That bucket, or that free throw made, eventually ends the run. That's their first points here in the second quarter. 1:42 to go in Otterville. Huge run right now, and that's been the difference.
Maybe a storyline developing. Isaiah Gilmore is checked out of the game. Went over to the bench, maybe trying to stretch some tightness out of one of his hamstrings. 1:37 until halftime. 13-1. Rather make that a 13-2 run after both free throws good for Escamilla. And that breaks up a near 9-minute scoring drought.
I mean, we were talking about Otterville, 6 turnovers in the first quarter, and then they come out. They come out and just silence that 13-0 run, or 13-2 run, and they have themselves a comfortable lead. And it's because of Isaiah Gilmore. He's probably pretty happy on the bench. Obviously, you talked about
both free throws missed, and Brad Counter cleans it up.
You're talking about, potentially himself. I think he's just been running so much up and down the court. He needed a little bit of a breather as well.
23-13 with 1:17 to go until halftime. Austin Taylor checked in after the last break, as well as Clayton Brandt, their first minutes of the ball game. Nearly turned over on the floor, a little slow roller up to Schmidt. Now Morrison gives chase on the ball and is tipped away. Cyrus Gilmore, he'll go for 2 off the glass, and he walked.
This Trojans team, they lost a good chunk of their offense to graduation last season. Like we talked about, they had 12 wins a season ago, went 2-6 in the Central Activities Conference, but they shot about 25 three-pointers a game last year, and they just have a much slower pace this year, and they want to operate in that half-court set, but they've struggled today, and especially in this quarter.
Final 33 seconds to go in the half. Community R6 trails 23-13 to Otterville. Austin Taylor lost the ball off his foot, rather on the pass to Escamilla. Drive toward the baseline, shot is blocked.
That's where the lack of size is hurting the Trojans. You got a rim protector down low in Brad Connor.
Escamilla fights for it. He'll come away with it. 1 second at the buzzer. Just off to the left. Trying to put an exclamation point on the end of the half, but Community R6 with only 2 points in the second quarter, and they're off of 2 free throws from Caden Escamilla as he heads to the locker room. 23-13, Otterville leads on top of Community R6, and the leading scorer is Isaiah Gilmore with 10 points. We'll send it to break. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN3, the 2019 Norm Stewart Classic at Mizzou Arena.
I'm Christina Stumble, and I chose the Smart Cash Card from Capital One. With unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy, why wouldn't I get this card? I redeemed $115,000 in cash back, which doubled our marketing budget last summer. What's in your wallet?
Greetings from Norm Stewart Court here at Mizzou Arena in the 2019 Norm Stewart Classic, featuring Community R6 Trojans at 0-2 and Otterville, as the Otterville Eagles lead it 23-13. And Will, we look at the first half stats, it's not good for Community R6, especially in that second quarter from the floor.
Oh, it was a second quarter to forget for the Community Trojans. They got outscored 15-2 in that quarter, but I want to highlight why that is. It's because someone comes off the bench, offers a spark. This Otterville team is much deeper than the Trojans, and they showed that with Isaiah Gilmore, 10 points, leading all scorers off the bench, making a couple of threes, a couple of rebounds. and having a steal in there as well. I mean, he did a really good job of facilitating the offense. We talked about how he excels in track, and we saw him put on the burners a couple of times. I think the struggles from the field were very apparent for the Trojans. You see a couple of highlights here in the first half, but there were 1 of 13 from downtown in the first half, 0 of 9 from the field in the second quarter. But James, a couple of highlights.
On the stats and the highlights you're watching now are from the first quarter for Community R6. But then in the second quarter, it's Isaiah Gilmore going off with 10 points, 2 triples. Saw the first one. Here's the second one, and not the drain to fall. Just an absolutely great half for him. He scored 20 points in the team's 1-point win over Bunston. And now he's on his way to another 20-point game. Just a great drive to the right there, too.
I mean, the three he made, that was deep. That's not something that high schoolers typically shoot. I mean, he was well beyond all 3 stripes.
I believe that would have made it probably from NBA range.
Would have been close, yeah.
His foot definitely would have been on the line. But so far, it's been a great second quarter for Otterville. They extend their lead 23-13 in the 2019 Norm Stewart Classic. As we'll take another break and rejoin you in just a little bit. Thanks for watching this morning on ESPN3 as well as Mediacom. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Kyle. I'm one of the owners of Hit Records. This is a really unique place. Shopping for records while you're sipping wine or a cocktail is something I've never seen. There's going to be reasons you come here, but then there's going to be all these reasons you didn't know why. It's like a record store. You come in looking for one thing, and you end up seeing all these other things that totally spark your interest. Come see for yourself.
Missouri Heart Center helped me prepare so that whenever the day of surgery had to come, it wasn't such a big deal.
Found out I was going to have open heart surgery. I was really, really nervous.
I just felt safe with those doctors.
Our cardiologists perform over 2,500 cardiac catheterizations, place over 1,000 pacemaker implants, handle over 971 coronary interventions, and do an average of over 900 cardiovascular and thoracic surgery cases each year.
It was such a relief to come out of the emergency room, have them look at me and say, "You're fixed."
The doctors and the staff told me I was going to be fine, and they were right.
I'm already planning my 100th birthday party. All of you's invited.
I am the famous Kenny Green. The biggest draw for Columbia is that it has a lot of different aspects to it. It has a lot of parks, it has kind of an underground urban scene, and so it's pretty eclectic. It's just amazing the differences of music you can see from one night to the next in Columbia. Come see me.
3 minutes left until the start of the second half. Otterville 23, Community R6 13 at the break. But this is not the only matchup between these two high schools. The girls will tip off at 6. Got a preview for that one, Will.
Oh, that's going to be a great game. I mean, we're excited to bring you that one because that community girls team, I mean, they bring a lot back from a team that made one of the deepest runs and one of their best teams in school history a season ago. And for Otterville, it's kind of similar in the sense that they're not sure on the girls' side who's going to really take over. They lost an all-stater and Emily Thomas, but we will kind of get ready for that. But we got a good second half. Can the Trojans make a response, James? We'll see.
And we'll be right back here on ESPN3. Thanks for joining us and spending your morning on the Norm Stewart Classic.
I'm Christina Stumble, and I chose the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy, why wouldn't I get this card? I redeemed $115,000 $15,000 in cash back, which doubled our marketing budget last summer. What's in your wallet?
The arc in the first half. They were outscored 15-2, so I think he had a lot of things to say in the locker room. He needed to use all that halftime to tell them, and adjust their game plan, because obviously they're probably getting a stern talking to after really not showing out. They had an 11-8 lead after the first quarter, but now getting outscored 15-2 in the second quarter, it was a second quarter to forget. So he talked to his team. You don't want him to overthink, and if you're super cold, it's hard to shoot yourself out of a slump like that in warm-ups. You guys just got to do it in the game.
And how about this Niles Media Group production crew getting a score bug up? This is fantastic. Special thanks to our producer, Clayton Holderoff. He was able to get that score bug up and finally got a time and score for you. Ben Morrison down to the right corner, and a flat-footed three for Christian Bremer, no good. However, Community R6 chased the ball out of bounds, and they lost control.
And give DJ a lot of credit for getting that score bug up. Everybody works really hard on this production crew. You got to give them credit working throughout the night. It's 48 straight hours of basketball playing, coaching, referees, and for the production crew.
Croker air ball. Back the other way. Here comes Community R6. Trying to open up the scoring, and that's exactly what they do. A quick bucket to start out the second half. I think that's exactly what they needed. Only their fifth made shot of the ball game.
That's the same total they had in all the second quarter. Finally getting something going, and maybe they can go on a run. Maybe there was a method to the madness of not having warm-ups. Coming out of halftime for Coach Thomas and giving them a talking to.
I think that Otterville's head coach Tom Ward's going to have a talking to with his team, as they've yet to score in the opening minute 21.
In Otterville, really, they're the team that they've still turned the ball over. They did 11 times in the first half. Community had chances, but they just couldn't shoot. It was breezy. It was a really chilly shooting percentage from the field, especially 0 of 9 in that second quarter. For the entire first half, 4 of 23, as we mentioned, but. I think it's within striking distance, but Community has to know who they are. They have to know that they're a little undersized, they're inexperienced, they have to be able to get to the foul line, because that's where they've had the most success today. They were 4 of 4 in the first half from the stripe, so they got to keep attacking.
Escamilla weaves and turns it over. That ball's on the floor, and great effort by Escamilla to keep it in favor of Community R6. Weave and kick out to Escamilla. Oh, what a find on the pass, but Case Stafford wasn't ready. Down 1 on 4. He lost the ball and took a hard spill. Ball still on the floor as Stafford comes away with it. Now dishes it too low for Schmidt, and a scrum ensues. Community R6 ultimately turns the ball over after touching it 4 times.
I want to know what Coach Thomas said to his team at half, because this team is coming out with much more energy. I know they didn't come up with a bucket on that possession, but they were hitting the deck, going for everything, and you can tell they're having an extra effort opening stages, third quarter.
Maybe finally got their hit of morning coffee.
And that very well could be a case, we joke about it, but when does a team ever practice at 5 a.m.? How do you get adjusted to that? It really is tough, and that could definitely be a case in that instance. They're finally up.
Escamilla will try from downtown, rattles it home. Escamilla with 9 points. His first bucket of the second half. His first bucket since the first quarter.
That's their second made three.
Trying to claw their way back as they trail by 5. Largest deficit was 10 points, and they cut it in half. Stafford will drive left side lane. Gets it to go, and gets the foul. He'll go to the line. What a drive for Case Stafford. His 4th point of the ball game, a chance to make it 5.
And that was huge for the Trojans now. They don't get the three-point play, but that three-pointer that they made, the second of the game, they were 0 of 9 in the second quarter from the field. 6 of those were missed threes. So if they can shoot with efficiency, I mean, we got a ball game right now.
Turned over. Danny Kuda comes away with it. 1 score ball game. And now we'll cherry pick down low, but not nifty enough for Garrett Schmidt. Couldn't get the finger roll to knock down.
Was wide open too. Could have brought the game within a point.
Morrison outside perimeter. Otterville stunned here in the third quarter. Morrison will try a 3. Clanks off short.
That was a good-looking shot from deep. He was behind all 3 stripes, and it was he chopped it up high in the air.
Deep outside perimeter for Case Stafford. He has 4 points. Now Escamilla will drive down low and slapped on his way to the rim.
And that's what they want to do. They want to get Escamilla going because he is the guy who can move this offense forward. He's their leading scorer right now. If he can knock down some threes and then force that drive.
Escamilla couldn't get the shot to roll through.
Great take to the bucket, just couldn't make the finish. But I think that the Trojans are going to have their success doing just that, getting to the bucket. Those are much more high percentage looks than guarded three-pointers.
And they tried to find Isaiah Gilmore, who's been silent through the first 5 minutes and 19 seconds in this third quarter, after he had 10 points in the second. Turned it over.
He'll get going. I mean, he had a silent first quarter, but we know he can score points in bunches. When Otterville went on a 13-0 run to open up that second quarter, I mean, he had 10 of those points, and I think this is the game where Coach Thomas has to be happy with how his team comes out of the half. They stay in the locker room a little longer. They probably get a little stern talking to after being outscored 15-2 in the second quarter. And they come out on a run of their own, and it's a ball game now, just one possession separating the two schools. It's a great event here at the Norm Stewart Classic. And this one, we've seen some really good games, especially yesterday morning with a couple of games that came down to the final possession. This game has the potential to bring that excitement to you as well. Both teams working hard, trying to make adjustments and weathering the storm of the run. That's what I'll do on that side is Coach addresses his team. Go ahead, James.
When you talk about scoring droughts, and it's a 7-0 run for Community R6. Otterville has yet to score here in the third quarter. They've not knocked down a bucket since about 1 minute left in the first half. So this scoring drought dragging on just a little bit, looking the same way Community R6 was in the second quarter.
Tale of 2 quarters. It was pretty even after one. Otterville had some turnovers, but they came out, smacked the Trojans in the face, and now Trojans are turning the favor.
Escamilla saved the ball from going out of bounds and took a quick 3. Meanwhile, Isaiah Gilmore, who left the second quarter late, trying to stretch out one of his hamstrings. Now we'll send her to Cyrus Gilmore, his brother, nothing but net.
And that's the scoring that they needed after a little drought there when they had a big lead. Now the game just a couple of possessions.
Cyrus Gilmore's first bucket of the ball game, a triple. Inside feed, what a look for Kuda. Kuda hit on the wrist, still go to the line. Got great separation down low, but created a lot of open space on the outside perimeter for his teammates, and a little bit of an issue where Otterville's rolling the dice. Cena will blink first. They want to give him that opportunity to shoot the three ball, maybe miss it, but that can be a dangerous precedent.
What a game we got going here. I mean, we talk about the tale of the couple quarters, and that's basketball. It's a game of runs. Weathering the storm when you're up and trying to make a run when you're on the other end, and we've got a ball game on our hands.
Meanwhile, Brad Connor, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, has 6 points on the game. Nifty move inside, 2 points, chalk it up for Mason Matthews. And rather, that was not Brad Connor. That was Danny Kuda at the line, knocking down 2. Escamilla to Kuda. Great ball movement outside. Swing it back to Escamilla. He started the ball movement. Oh, he drives right side. Gets his own rebound and the second effort. Second chance points. And Escamilla into double digits. He now has 11. 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. Otterville's lead knocked down to 4. Was 10 points at the half.
Good job by Mason Matthews right there to put the ball on the hardwood and draw the foul. I mean, that's kind of the art of sometimes of these big men. I mean, they go to the foul line. They're not known as great free throw shooters, but they are actually at the line a lot because of where they receive in the paint. And just being able to get to the line to get an opportunity to score when the clock is stopped, that's a credit to them getting in good position on the entries and just really pure effort on the offensive rebounding glass.
Lane violation. Shot was missed. Referees didn't stop it anyways. 2-point bucket, meanwhile, for Otterville. Brad Connor with 2 points. Seconds left in quarter number 3. Catch and shoot. Kuda will pull the trigger. Fight for the ball down low. What a great save. Escamilla for 3. Couldn't get it to drop. And a great rebound. 3 shots. And now a foul called against Brad Connor.
Escamilla kind of hesitated a little bit once he got that ball. They had really good. They did a good job of keeping that ball with their possession, with the extra effort that they've had that we didn't really see as much in the first half, but Coach Thomas got his team together. They're playing with much more grit. They're shooting the ball much better, and the trend is upward for this team who's inching closer back into this game. And they want to continue to let it fly. You know, eventually, sometimes those shots will open up if you keep working hard to get open.
5 points for Kuda. Ben Morrison back the other way, kicks it out. Oh, great look. And he drains the 3. Isaiah Gilmore, it's good. And his first three-pointer of half number 2. 13 points for the junior guard.
And 3 three-pointers that have all looked really good from deep. I mean, he's pulling up from well beyond the arc.
Half of Otterville's points have come from the bench. 13 for Isaiah Gilmore. And a great look by Ben Morrison dishing it outside.
Did you see how deep he was right there? I mean, that's what's been all of his three-pointers so far today. Heck of a game so far for Isaiah Gilmore.
Otterville again from the left corner. Ben Morrison couldn't find it. Danny Kuda laser beams the ball low. Austin Taylor turns it over.
But Gilmore's no stranger to scoring a lot of points. He had 20. He had a 20 ball earlier this week and a 1-point win they had.
Cyrus Gilmore, the soft touch. Big rebound for Mason Matthews. Kicks it out. And a clank off the right side for Isaiah Gilmore. A little frustrated with himself off the shot, couldn't get it to go, but he does lead either side in scoring with 13 points. The next closest score is Community R6's Caden Escamilla with 11.
And Otterville has 5 team fouls to just 1 for Community after a foul right there on the rebound. So Mason Matthews will go to the sideline after picking up a foul on the push right there. But Otterville now showcasing a little bit of a press.
Down to 1 second at the buzzer, and it's wide right.
They didn't want to let them get that shot off and did a good job. I mean, it was a good third quarter for Community to be able to respond in a way that they actually have a lot more confidence now after at halftime it looked like they could come out, and if those struggles continue they could get buried, but in this sense they have a good chance. It's just an 8-point game, James.
The quarter ends with Community R outscoring Otterville 12-10. We'll have 8 minutes left in the game when we return from break. Otterville 33, Community R6 25. We'll be right back on ESPN 3.
I'm Christina Stumble, and I chose the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy, why wouldn't I get this card? I redeemed $115,000 in cash back, which doubled our marketing budget last summer. What's in your wallet?
Lead for Otterville as we start quarter number 4. James Stanley with Will Connerly at the 2019 Norm Stewart Classic from Mizzou Arena. First year the Classic has been held in this building, and Community R6 starts out with the ball, nearly turned it over, but last touch out of bounds by Otterville.
Talking about turnovers, Otterville 18 turnovers in this game to Community's 10. But they have the lead.
Stafford denied the 3 instead. Dribble drive to the rim, and he'll go to the line shooting a pair. Got to make these free throws if you're Community R6. They've only missed 2 on the game so far, 7 of 9 from the charity stripe.
But 10% from beyond the arc during this game. That's going to have to be the difference. I think, obviously, they had much more intention of getting to the line because of the fact that they were much better at trying to get free throw shots than three-point shots because they jacked up 19 threes already.
Morrison puts the ball in the hardwood, and he's called for the charge. Saber in hand, and the Light Brigade goes down. That was blatant. That's about as textbook as you can get for taking a charge in Clayton Brandt. Didn't even need it on slow-mo to see how well his feet were set.
And not much else you can say on that one.
He had his feet in quick cement.
Good job to get set and earn his team a possession who's in need of them. You know, they're going to have to get a couple of turnovers and stops to be able to inch back in this one.
Stafford finds it left side for Taylor. Otterville playing some hands-up defense. They lead 33-26. A short 3. The shooting woes continue for Garrett Schmidt. Yet to hit a bucket on the game and 0 for 8 on the season from three-point land.
23 pointers attempted, just 2 made for the Trojans today.
You think eventually one of those has to fall. We're careful here for Kuda. He heard footsteps and now pulls up short. No touches on the possession. Missed his shot on the air ball. Now tries to go back up with it. He traveled with it.
But James, this is pretty normal for the Trojans. Maybe not the percentage, but the attempts. They averaged 25 three-pointers per game attempted a season ago. They're at 20 right now. But someone I know they want to get going is Escamilla. I mean, 11 points right now. He averaged 19 points per game a season ago, and they know his development is crucial for this team.
Big man down low, Mason Matthews rumbling toward the rim. He's fouled.
You know, a point of concern for Coach Thomas was that they lost 80% of their offense from 3 seniors that graduated last season.
Matthews with 6 points on the game, 7 fouls on Otterville. This is the second one on Community R6. Quiet as a church, but it doesn't matter as the shot on the free throw misses right. Wide right.
Yeah, you talk about quiet, sometimes familiar faces that shooting in this gym. You got people screaming, people behind the basket, waving their arms. Right here, he's just staring at some empty bleachers.
Well, especially if this was a Missouri Tigers SEC matchup, the student section would be back there, although it probably would have about the same attendance.
Or you talk about if it was a game when
34-26 with 6:18 remaining in the game, and Otterville on top comfortably. Extended the lead back to 8. Isaiah Gilmore and Jim Kroger play catch. Community R6 could use a turnover. Down low, Mason Matthews, clash of the Titans.
Won't get a turnover like that. Great pass down low in traffic, extended the arm out, used his body to get possession, turned, and good for 2.
8 points for the big man center, turned away. Turned over, and Isaiah Gilmore, full speed ahead, Hi-Ho Silver missed left. Kuda flips it up floor. Stafford had a wide open opportunity for the 3, but traveled. Maybe he wishes he would have taken the shot.
Yeah, you see those calls a lot. It's just about footwork at that point for the shooter. And make it quicker decision making. Am I going to drive or am I going to shoot? You got to have your footwork in great position upon receiving the ball so you can make those decisions. They call it those 3 points of attack. What are you going to do? Pass, shoot, drive, dribble. Depending on which one, you got to be in position to do them all and make a quick decision.
Isaiah Gilmore dribbling in the backcourt. I believe he would have been content to dribble out the final 4 minutes and 55 seconds, but Community R6 has got to go after the ball.
Well, he dribbled all right there, but
I think he bled about 10-15 seconds off the clock.
But then he gets called for the travel. You give it the possession to the Trojans. They need to start this comeback now.
Left corner. Swish!
Down at some point
for the senior, Danny Kuda. And on his 9th three-point attempt of the season, he finally knocks one down.
Now they can start going for him now. Once you get that first one, it's free reign. And especially for this team, first one they've had in a while. 3rd three-pointer made in 21 attempts in this game for Community.
All of his first 8 from downtown. Kuda has 10 points. He'll join Escamilla across the timeline. Otterville 36, Community R6 29. Final 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Their matchup of the 2019 Norm Stewart Classic. Roll off the rim, and a great corral off the line for Kuda. Kuda, meanwhile, lost control as he gave it over to Garrett Schmidt. Turned it over. Kroger, I should say. What a find down low for Matthews. Schmidt will clear as the Trojans bring it back left to right.
Good defense right there. They know they need that defense now. Getting towards the latter stages of this 4th quarter, they need stops in the interior, something they haven't been able to do much today.
Trojans trail by 7 points. Trying to make it 5. Escamilla gets his on rebound, and he's fouled after he knocks down the short jumper.
All right, make it 4 now.
5-point deficit. And the 8th foul on Community R, or rather make that on Otterville. Great second effort by Escamilla. And a great tip out by Garrett Schmidt. Chalk up the 5'10 junior guard for the assist, but a missed free throw left on the table by Escamilla as he has 13 points.
Yep, that's a good call right there. Stafford, bumped down low with Matthews, and it just. I like the effort on that play. They wanted to start denying Matthews now because once he gets the ball in position, they can't stop him. And I like that opportunity. Try to deny him instead. Don't play behind him as much. We'll see how they try to defend that coming up in this game in a tight ball game right now.
Long three, step back for Jim Kroger, no good.
Those are the fouls that coaches can live with, going after the ball like that. It's the ones that, with those effort fouls, those are going to happen. That's why players get 5.
Escamilla triple teamed and on the floor. Call for the travel. A little frustrated with the call. Got tripped up. It was 3-on-1.
Frustrated with the call and potentially just himself, for falling down. He had an opportunity and he had an open gap going to the floor, like you said.
Matthews right corner for Morrison, and he walked.
He set his feet right there. That's what it's about. And giving the Trojans a possession, nerves can come into play once you go to the latter stages of a game and your feet start moving before, you get the ball.
So many travels in this game. Both sides catch and shoot. Danny Kuda for 3. Kuda, after starting out the year 0 for 8 from downtown, has made his last 2 3-pointers. Now shooting a cool 2 for 10. Community R6 can feel it. They trail by 2. And ball thrown out of bounds by Matthews.
Smart play right there. He threw it off of Matthews to keep the possession with his team. Great basketball IQ play right there. But you talk about Kuda, you talk about that. I mean, those cold struggles, those struggles to start don't matter now. It's a 2-point game and nothing else you could ask for here at Mizzou Arena.
Low-scoring matchup, 36-34, Otterville by 2.
That's both of these teams. They're going to be low-scoring affairs this season because they focus on defense and they lost a lot of their production, both schools, from a season ago.
Escamilla tripped up by Matthews. Moves left side. He's fouled. And if he makes both free throws, he could tie the game and give Community R6 their first tie since the first quarter.
19 fouls for Otterville. Look at that replay. Just going down, getting hit hard, but 19 fouls right now. So Community obviously in the bonus, shooting 2 free throws the rest of the 90 seconds that's left in this fourth quarter. Coming down to the wire right now.
Was that foul on Matthews? That's the question. He had 3 at the end of the third quarter. Both free throws are true, and we're knotted at 36 with 90 seconds to play. Escamilla put the team on his back, 15 points for the senior.
They're denying Matthews down low.
He has to come out on the perimeter as Escamilla in hot pursuit. But Isaiah Gilmore, I think he's content just to triple the final minute.
And this is where no shot clock in high school basketball really comes into factor. Teams can start to shorten a game by, if maybe a minute left, they can look for their point to attack. Because at some point, they really can just hang out there.
Isaiah Gilmore calculating his move. With each dribble, a second comes away. And a timeout called by Tom Ward of Otterville. After the way the Trojans shot in the second quarter, with only 2 points off of 2 free throws, they trailed big at the half, 23-13. Allowed a 15-2 run over an 8-minute stretch to Otterville. Now they've clawed their way back, outscoring Community R6. Or rather, Community R6 outscoring Otterville 12-10 in the third quarter. And here in the fourth, they tied up off a pair of free throws from Caden Escamilla.
And you talk about the struggles, the cold struggles. What confidence in a shooter to pull up from three when the game comes down to the wire. You can mention the struggles, but Kuda has the confidence as a senior.
But not only that, he was 0 for 8 on the year going into those last two made three-pointers.
You talk about his struggles, but he's made the two biggest shots for this team right now, and that's why we're all knotted up. And this is a community team in search of their first win of the season, this Class 1 District 10 team. You know, they had 12 wins a year ago, and they're looking for their first one this season. How big would it be at Mizzou Arena after getting outscored 15-2 in the second quarter, having a huge deficit at the half, coming back in the second half, tying it right now, and you know they're going to have a stop because the Eagles have the ball, but if they can get one, any type of turnover, Escamilla is going to be looking to get a turnover and go in transition. Any fouls, 2 shots as well if Otterville commits one, but we'll see what they do on the offensive end now.
Danny Kuda channeling his inner Marcus Denman, who with 3 trays knocked down the Kansas Jayhawks here in 2012. Now Isaiah Gilmore will dribble more time off the clock as we go to the final 15 seconds. We could have overtime. Who will play hero for Otterville? Morrison, he'll try the 3. Too short. Out of bounds. Community R6 gets the ball, and we have overtime.
They had the ball, what was it, with a minute 15? With a minute 15 about? I mean, they dribbled it out to about 30 seconds, called timeout, still dribbled it down to 10 seconds, called for an off-ball screen, didn't have their first look, kicked it out, far side wing, didn't hit the mark, but what they did do that was smart, they didn't allow possession for community. So, obviously, we're going to step aside and let's get ready for overtime.
36 all. We'll have 5 minutes of overtime when we come back on ESPN 3.
Hi, I'm Christina Stumble, and I founded Farm Girl Flowers. What started at my dining room table has grown into a serious operation. That's why I chose the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy, why wouldn't I get this card? I redeemed $115,000 in cash back in just 1 year, which doubled our marketing budget last summer. And I saw 69% growth year over year. My Spark Card is more than a credit card. It's actually helped me grow my business. What's in your wallet?
Will Connerly. Both teams soaking up every moment. In that fourth quarter, Community R6 battle back. They go 2 for 3 from beyond 3 as they outscore Otterville 11-3, and the opening tip-off of overtime is won by Otterville.
Kudos to Danny Kuda and Caden Escamilla forcing that comeback for the Trojans in the second half.
Morrison in the paint, he traveled. That has to be the 4th or 5th travel on Morrison in this game.
You know, struggling to find the feet right now, but, you know, Escamilla, he's taken over. He has 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. And then Kuda making those couple of 3-pointers with 13 points, second most for the Trojans. They've been the 2 forces of production. Only 4 players for the Trojans have scored, and most of it's been from the 15 from Escamilla, 13 from Kuda.
Kuda has made his last 2 3-point shots after starting out the year 0 for 8.
And only 8 other points come from 2 other players after Escamilla and Kuda.
Down low for Stafford. Backs it up. Off the back of the rim, gets the rebound, puts it up on the reverse, and pulled down by Brad Connor. But a foul away from the basketball against Community R6. They'll tag Case Stafford. Neither team opening up the scoring with 1 minute eclipsed in overtime number 1.
And the guy with the basketball taking it out to the court, they're going to have to get it across at some point.
Morrison flips it far right side for Isaiah Gilmore.
Gilmore off the bench, 13 points to lead all scorers for the Eagles right now. Big reason why.
Cyrus Gilmore for three, clangs right. And the big man, Mason Matthews, gives Otterville their first lead since halfway through the fourth quarter.
Big man now in double digits, and they can't deny him, they can deny him, but you can't protect against not boxing out on offensive rebounds.
Ball on the floor, the Trojans fight for it, they come away with Kuda. Up center for Robnett, swing it right side for Schmidt. Bounce pass down low, Kuda makes his move, turn around, missed it high, but Kuda gets the board. Now Escamilla thought about the three-pointer, the floater from the line, and he ties the game back at 38 all.
Friendly roll, it hits the back of the iron, good balance, and goes down.
17 points for the senior in Escamilla. 1:43 left to play. Overtime number one and a floater. Soft touch. Cyrus Gilmore, point number 5. Otterville retakes the lead, 40-38. Another close matchup in the Norm Stewart Classic. 47 teams from 5 states piled into Columbia, Missouri this weekend, and Stafford will shake and bake. Can't get it to go through the trees. Now he fights for the ball. Can't come away with it.
I'm surprised no whistle was called there, but
Trojans have to get back on defense.
And this is where Otterville had the ball to end the fourth quarter. With about a minute to go, they dribbled it out, but they have a 1-point lead now.
Full off the right side. Missed shot by Isaiah Gilmore. Back to Danny Kuda. Trying to tie it up off the glass. It's good. And the crowd erupts.
What else could you ask for at 5:30 in the morning? Two teams going back and forth here at Mizzou Arena in the Norm Stewart Classic.
15 points for Kuda and a timeout called by Tom Ward. The same situation they were in at the end of regulation. With the game tied and under a minute to go, they dribbled the timeout. And how about Danny Kuda, 15 points, tying the game. He's been solid in the second half and here in overtime.
Yeah, look at that spin and the nice touch right there. And then you go back. You harped on, his struggles, but it's early in the season for this team who, he's shooting out of it right now, and you just need one to go down. That's all he needed. He got a couple to go down in the stretch in the fourth quarter to facilitate that comeback after their team was really, they didn't make a field goal in the second quarter. The second half, a much different story. Look at Coach addressing his team right now. I mean, he's some type of coach to be able to get a team to come back from that type of deficit. And we've got such a ball game right now that you don't know which way it's going to go. We're in the same situation, and if they probably won't run the same type of play because it didn't work to end the fourth quarter when they shot that missed three-pointer.
There's certain energies you get to feel in arenas of this size and this stature. Think about all the heartbreak and triumphant moments for Mizzou basketball in this building, and one of these teams about to walk away very happy. Tragedy for the other, but here we go to the final 38 seconds in overtime number 1.
So who's going to step up? Who's going to make a play?
Tied 40 all, and Isaiah Gilmore dribbling the time away. Guarded by Kuda, the man of the hour. Makes his move right side. It's a charge!
Great call. I mean, that's a great call right there. You can't really... He was out of control. I mean, look at the replay.
What a take! Feeder set. Stafford.
He looked like Marshawn Lynch going into a defender. I mean, that's an easy call.
Took one for the team, only with 4 points, but a huge grasp, and now it's knocked away. Here goes Cyrus Gilmore to the cup. Right side. Otterville leads 42-40. 4 seconds left to go, but a chance to tie. My goodness! Overtime number 2.
I mean, what a response right there. Isaiah Gilmore after the charge, getting the bucket. Looks like his team's going to win. Then coming on the other end to tie it at the buzzer. My goodness, if you're not awake right now watching this, I mean, take a closer look at that. Wow.
A staring match between the Gingham Dog and the Calico Cat. Stafford turned it over. Cyrus Gilmore came away with the bucket, and his time expired. What a fantastic response. Escamilla gets the assist up to none other than Garrett Schmidt on his first points of the ball game.
What better time to score your first points of the game at the end of the first overtime, forcing overtime number 2. And my goodness, James Stanley's woken you folks up at home this morning. I mean, this is exciting right now. The way that a team's been able to come back, both teams evenly matched, and they've been doing it in different ways. I mean, Otterville's really been able to use their guard play, pushing it up the court with Gilmore when they don't have an option. They also have Matthews in double digits in the paint. And then a couple of guards facilitating the offense very nicely for Community. 17 points to lead all scorers, Caden Escamilla. But I think Kuda has really been the clutch factor today, making those three-pointers and then that spinning, turning, twisting bucket down the stretch in the first overtime. 13 points for Isaiah Gilmore.
It's going to be hard to top this one as we head to overtime number 2. The good news is that we still have 34 minutes until the next game is slated to tip off.
The Trojans, though, I mean, coming back, it looked like Gilmore had the game winner, and then coming back with a few seconds to go. They're still in search of their first win of the season, and they can feel that energy.
Brenner comes away with it. Maybe slowing things down now as the floor general, Isaiah Gilmore, the team leading 13 points for Otterville. Back to Bremer, his first play minutes in quite a few quarters or overtimes. Both teams scored 6. And the three-pointer denied, too short for Isaiah Gilmore, and Community R6 has a chance to retake the lead.
That was a really good defensive possession by the Trojans. They're not guarding Morrison on the perimeter anymore because he's going to walk if he drives, they think. So they're softer now on the defense, and they get that empty defensive possession. Good job.
Escamilla outside. Stafford out beyond the three-point range. Pivots a couple times, nowhere to go with it. Now is to dribble back out. Escamilla will take over. Escamilla into traffic. He weaves, and he scores.
The artist in the paint, moving the basketball all around the defenders. It was rush hour traffic right there. 3 guys he weaved around to give his team the lead in double overtime.
19 points for Escamilla. Ben Morrison down low, gives the pass to Matthews. For 3, and the lead, it's Cyrus Gilmore, and he has 10 points.
The Gilmores getting it done for the Eagles. Taking back the lead here in double overtime. My goodness.
The Gilmores have made up half the points in this one for Otterville. And the Trojans trail by 1, 45-44. Kudo will try, rather Escamilla. And he's across the 20-point threshold. Give the senior 22. Community R6 retakes the lead 47-45 with 2 to go in overtime number 2.
That's about his average for the season, 22 points.
Bremer, left corner, and a great look by Cyrus Gilmore to keep his foot above the baseline. Now Bremer drives high. Too strong. Matthews, the big man, puts it up. Foul on the floor, however. Both teams responding with a couple trays. First, the one by Cyrus Gilmore knocks it down with ice in his veins, and Escamilla pulls up. Substitution made for Otterville. Brad Connor checks in, and out comes Cyrus Gilmore. Or rather, it's Bremer that checks out. Cyrus Gilmore just needed a drink. 94 seconds on the clock. Community R6, 47, Otterville 45. The officials talking on the far side with Community R6 head coach Matt Thomas.
Playing a little music here at Mizzou Arena, trying to get going, but here in double overtime, I mean, talk about the way that community is even here where they are.
I think he wants to make a substitution. He's pleading his case about a substitution. I believe that Otterville made that sub in, and he wanted to send in a new player for Tucker Robnett, the freshman with 3 points. In comes Austin Taylor with some experience, the junior with no points on the year. Isaiah Gilmore with 90 seconds left to go in overtime number 2. Cyrus Gilmore back to Isaiah. Down low, he gives to Matthews. High off the glass, we're tied again. 47-47 with 1:15 to play. Matthews with 12. Escamilla in the front court. Neither team wants to go home empty-handed. Final minute in overtime number 2. Stafford dribbles it out. Guarded tough. And a timeout burned by Matt Thomas.
And his Trojans have the opportunity, with the absence of the shot clock here in high school, to bring it all the way down and set up a play. But take a look at what happened on this last basket. You know, the reason why we're tied.
Great find of Matthews. He gets involved in the scoring. He's not scored since the end of regulation.
I mean, if Gilmore's driving, that's going to draw a lot of attention because he's been so good today. He's able to lay it off. And both of those guys in double digits, so they don't know which guys are going to do it. And you look at the fouls on your screen, James, you know, they carry over from that second half. Double bonus than they have been for a little bit in community. They have the basketball. And Coach Thomas is going to try to draw something up here for the Community Trojans in search of their first win of the season.
Community R6 is in the double bonus, and I believe that could play a factor. You look at foul trouble for Otterville. Ben Morrison with 3. Jim Croker with 3. Mason Matthews with 3. They got to play some clean basketball here in the final overtime. 51.4 seconds left. Both teams scored 6 in overtime number 1, but it may take a second, if not a third. Otterville will have to play defense as the Trojans will start out with the ball.
And that's why Thomas called the timeout. He drew a play up for this team, and they're going to try to get a shot ball in the hands of Escamilla or Kuda right here. The two guys who have been the spark of offense today for the Trojans.
Escamilla with 22 points, Kuda with 15. Kuda's knocked down a couple trays. Escamilla drives left side, kicks it out. And Kuda will take his turn. Now back out to Stafford. 32 seconds left to go. And Escamilla to the cup. The lead is back in favor of the Trojans. 24 points.
Get the ball in the hands of your best player with the game on the line.
For the senior, and a timeout call by Matt Thomas.
What a fearless take right there by Escamilla. I mean, my goodness. He still has time on the clock, so he knows if he misses that shot, they have 20 seconds. And take a closer look at that. This is a fearless take, and he's been able to do that tonight. That's why he's going to score a lot. This isn't going to be the last time he's in the 20 points this season. He's an artist in the paint.
It's like driving through rush hour down Rock Quarry Road. Through the trees. Found his way to the end. 49-47, 19.1 seconds left to go in second overtime. Now the question is for Matt Thomas. You have a couple players that can shoot the 3 ball, and Cyrus Gilmore and Isaiah Gilmore. Do you attempt the 2 to tie, or do you try the 3 for the win?
It just depends what's open. I mean, they're gonna have their set play. They're gonna have their hot option, which I think is going to be honestly going down to Morrison, because they know that they have the most utility to tie up the game in that aspect. If they're denying him or even double teaming him, and there's an open Gilmore on the wing, they'll definitely take it, because this is a big possession. And that's what Coach Thomas is addressing his team about. If they're going to go down to Matthews
in the post. He's their best option to score. And so Coach Thomas is saying, hey, you can't let Matthews, but we'll take that. Don't go double team him and deny him and leave an open Gilmore in the three who can knock down that three ball. So it just depends what's open for the Eagles.
Hearts are racing as we enter the final 16 seconds of overtime number 2. Community R6 49, Otterville 47. Down to 10 seconds. Isaiah Gilmore burning some time. 3 seconds, makes his move to the right, throws it up, it's wide right, but at the buzzer, Otterville ties it again.
Brad Connor, the sophomore. He gets the tip off. It was a drive from Gilmore. We expected Gilmore to drive, but then Connor with the putback on the offensive rebound.
3 overtimes is what it might take. Both sides a staring match and neither one wants to blink first. This is unprecedented. He's got the floater high off the glass, and the putback is up way before the buzzer went down. Brad Connor at the 11th hour.
Got it.
On the replay, that's definitely up at
plenty of time.
0.8 seconds on the clock. Connor ties it on the tip-up.
I mean, this has been the best game in the Norm Stewart Classic so far. And what we've been able to see is a par for the course game from Caden Escamilla with 24 points, so around his average of 22. And then 3 players in double digits for Otterville. And then at the end, you've seen Community make a buzzer shot. You've seen Otterville make a buzzer shot. And we're in the 3rd overtime now.
The stat sheets are piling up. I think we killed a small forest. They hand them to us at the end of each period. Each quarter, now we have 3 overtimes. Both teams scored 6 in overtime number 1, and both teams matched with 7 in overtime number 2. We're tied at 49 and another 4 minutes on the clock.
Neither team wants to go home. Neither team wants to stop playing at Mizzou Arena. You can't blame them.
Opening tip-off won by the Trojans in the 3rd overtime. They won overtime number 2 as well in the tip-off. Escamilla finds Taylor. Back to Stafford. Now Kuda trying to get into the paint, but denied all options by Morrison. Escamilla methodical in his method. Now back to Kuda for 3. Too strong off the right. He's made 2 out of his last 4 3-point attempts, and Morrison down low. Turns it over. Lost out of bounds. And I think it says it all on the far sideline with Tom Ward, the head coach of Otterville, putting a hand over his face.
I mean, you look at the frustration right there. It's empty, and it's a wasted possession where they didn't get a look at the bucket.
Who needs morning coffee with how exciting this game has been? 3 overtimes. After 4 quarters of regulation. 3 minutes left in overtime number 3, still tied at 49. Here's a move down low for Stafford. Stafford high off the glass, and the lead goes back to Community R6. Stafford with his 6th point of the game.
You know, he hasn't been the guy scoring today, but he's had a couple clutch buckets in these overtimes.
Ball tipped out of bounds. Great defense by Community R6. And the real narrative here is that at the half, Community R6 trailed 23-13, Will. And they've come roaring back, outscoring in the second half by 23-13. The exact score at halftime in favor of Otterville.
And that's why we're in overtime, Stanley. It's been a game where neither team wants to go home. They're fighting to the end.
2:20 left to play. Community R6 51, Otterville 49. The largest lead for either side in overtime has been 2 points. Down to 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go at Mizzou Arena. Matthews way out from his usual territory down low to defend the ball. Ball tipped. Last touched by Otterville. Great hustle by Brad Connor. There are some players you look at here who started who have no points, and if they come into the game, they could play hero. One play that comes to mind is Garrett Schmidt tying the game for Community R6 to keep us in overtime when he made his first bucket of the night, or I should say of the morning. Morrison with tough defense, nearly turned it over. Escamilla will try a deep three. Bang! Community R6 54. Otterville 49.
He's getting it done. He's been the spark today.
Escamilla nearing 30 points, and a shot rolls far left.
Putting the team on his back here, 27 points. I mean, a 3 overtime affair.
And a timeout called on the floor by Matt Thomas. Maybe some clock management skills. But Community R6 is in the driver's seat with their largest lead of the ball game, 54-49 over Otterville. 1:04 left to go in overtime number 3.
How much fun is Garrett Jones going to have breaking this one down? My goodness. I mean, you get 3 overtimes, 2 buzzer beaters. They got a highlight reel just in this game coming up. You talk Coach Thomas, a tremendous job getting it done, and you got to give it up to the senior. You know, he's going to probably average over 20 points every game this season. He facilitates the offense in a team who had to fight. They're looking for their first win of the season. They're 3 overtimes, and they need every single second of it to do it. But they're in the driver's seat right now, up by 5 points.
We talked about it at the end, or near the end of the halftime. And the Trojans stayed in the locker room. They came out a little bit late. They did not shoot any warm-ups, and it's paid off in the second half.
But have they shot in the second half? Oh, my goodness. And then here in all the overtimes, teams back and forth, buzzer beaters from both squads.
Ball is turned over. Here goes Morrison. It's a foot race. Off the right side, the finger rolls good, and down to a 3-point lead for Community R6. If Otterville needs a 3 from either of the Gilmore brothers, it's now. But first, they got to get the ball back into the final 45 seconds we go. Escamilla looking for the dagger, but he's fouled.
Fouled on his drive attempt, and that's a good job. He tried to kick it back out to the wing, but he got tapped. He's drawn about 4 fouls tonight just by driving, and he'll be shooting 2 at the line with the double bonus in 2 play.
Escamilla with 27 points on the game. Came in averaging 22 through the first 2. Community R6 trying to pick up their first win as the free throw misses to the left.
Yeah, so that pedestrian average of 22 will go up after this one. But he's been able to make clutch shot after clutch shot, and the one that extended his team was that three-pointer moments ago.
Escamilla makes the second free throw, which makes him 7 of 9 from the charity stripe in this one.
Still life for the Eagles. They need a quick bucket.
Back to the near side. It's Isaiah Gilmore and Escamilla with 28. Timeout called for Matt Thomas, rather for Tom Ward. Tom Ward's been in this situation many times in his head coaching career. A veteran head coach. Now trying to draw up something special. His team is down by 4 with 26.5 ticks on the clock. Not to mention overtime number 3.
Yeah, don't mention that one. Just
not a big storyline at all.
Third overtime here at the Norm Stewart Classic, and here in Mizzou Arena, when they schedule these 2 games, and this 4 a.m. game has been the best game so far. I mean, the buzzer beater after buzzer beater. You got a 4-point game with 26 and some ticks to go. And what they need is they might try to get a 3, and then they'll need to foul, but they can still get the 2 as well. It just depends what Coach Ward goes with, but I think they need to get a shot off within 5 seconds. I mean, they need to be 5 to 10 seconds putting something up because they need time if they want to play that free throw game.
I don't think you could have asked for a better start to your morning. Skip the Wheaties, skip the coffee. All you need is this action here on ESPN3. 2019 Norm Stewart Classic, 26.5 seconds in triple overtime remaining, and Community R6 trying to hold on to a 55-51 lead after they trailed 10 points at the half. Isaiah Gilmore thought about the three, instead sends it Morrison's way. Morrison too strong, plenty of time. Community R6 gets the ball back. Lost out of bounds as Jim Croker couldn't come down with it.
Yeah, he tapped that ball out of bounds.
And a timeout called on the floor. 17.1 seconds left to go. If you're Community R6, I think you're looking for the dagger.
I mean, you don't have to take a shot if you're Community R6. You can just, I mean, the Eagles are going to foul, so you just have to make the free throws. You know, that would be the daggers in that sense. But you know, getting ready for the end of the game, Garrett Jones always comes up here, but he's been sitting next to us for 3 periods now that we've been blessed with extra basketball here on this fine Sunday morning. And you see he's beside us on your screen. And, I mean, we get ready for all these festivities and the North Shore Classic, but I wasn't expecting something like this. The Eagles, you know, yeah, an animated Isaiah Gilmore talking to his team. Getting ready they want to make a quick foul is what they're going to have to do.
Here's the question is, who do you want to foul? It's Danny Kuda, 3 for 4 from the free throw line in this one. Escamilla, 7 of 9. Escamilla's 2 points away from a 30-point ball game, and Case Stafford 1 for 3 from the free throw line. 55-51. Community R6 on top by 4 with 17.1 seconds left to play. Ball is inbound and a hard foul on Escamilla. That's the one guy you don't want to send to the line.
Yeah, he has a little smile after this one because he knows if he can knock down a couple of shots, he can put the game in the bag for his team and secure his team's first win of the season, but obviously big free throws awaiting him.
13 of 15 from the free throw line this young season in 3 games. Came in 6 for 6 in free throws. 7 of 9 in the game alone.
He's a crafty player. I mean, he finds ways. He's really creative. His ability to get to the rim. And we've seen that, making defenders miss. And, you know, the Eagles haven't had an answer for him.
There's point number 28. It's going to take some triples for Otterville to come out of the hole. Down by 5.
Yeah, they need a quick outlet in 3.
Second free throw is good. 30 points for Caden Escamilla. Down to 12 seconds. Far right corner. Morrison pulls up. Too short. Time ticking away. Trying the 3. Isaiah Gilmore. Swish. Down to 3 seconds. You got a foul. 1 second. Time expires. Community R6 wins their first game of 2019. Down by 10 at the half. Down goes Otterville. An exciting game in overtime. Took them 3 tries, and one of the closest games of the entire Classic. Community R6, they earned it.
And the longest for sure. And one thing you think about is, you know, you think about player of the game and all, but, you know, it's not a tough decision when you have a guy so clutch, almost racking up a 30 ball for Coach Thomas and his squad. And, you know, that's what you like to see after a team who was outscored 15-2 in the second quarter, had a halftime deficit. They didn't come out and shoot in the second half. And then they end up having their floor general take over. Caden Escamilla, What a game from that young man.
See him there on the bench. No doubt he should be the player of the game. Dropping at 30. And he got it. Here he goes out to center court to receive his $100 scholarship. Sponsored by Nestle Purina. Have a night, young man. Or really a morning.
And look at his highlights.
3 for 12 from downtown. 9 of 24 from the floor. He took 24 out of the 57 shots this morning for Community R6. Sponsored by Nestle Purina, the player of the game, Caden Escamilla. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. With 30 points and just 1 personal foul. He rebounded the ball 7 times and went 9 for 11 from the free throw line. Those free throws made the difference. Difference maker in this game, and Community R6 will head to the locker room happy while the girls get ready to take on each other from both high schools. And here's the play of the game. 3-point bucket from the sharpshooter Escamilla.
My Holiday Inn executives, and that play of the game, it's so tough to pick a play of the game in a 3 overtime affair, but it had to be done. The clutch 3 that really put the game in the bag, if you think about it.
You could pick any of those buzzer-beating shots as they went through the nylon. And we will send it to Garrett Jones and rejoin you in just a little bit with the girls of Community R6 and Otterville here on ESPN3 at the Norm Stewart Classic.